Welcome back, and if it's your first time here, welcome. This is What to Talk About podcast with Caitie,
And Allie.
and we're just two peeps just trying to figure out what to talk about. And today, I'm kind of taking over with talking about the most recent, wild, and insane book that I listened to on audio uh, during my work hours. I listened to this at work.
It's like a
Oh,
it's like a new segment we wanted to do. It's kind of like a little book club that we're gonna try to do at least monthly. Maybe not monthly, but we read a fun book.
yes.
We want to talk about it.
Yes, and the next time it'll probably be a book that we both read, but I just needed to talk about this. I needed to talk about this. I spent 9 hours listening to this book, and by God, you're going to hear about it. Warning. I'm just going to put a warning out there. This book is not for everybody. This is a not for everybody book. Um, Listen at your own risk, especially towards the end. We're going to stick around if you like. I wouldn't say disturbing, but it could be disturbing. I think we could call it that a little bit.
It's a little
So
from
that's
what
your
I've heard.
vibe. Yeah, just a little. So the book is called Perfume, the story of a murderer. I didn't
Murder.
say it. Murderer. I didn't say it, YouTube. I didn't say it.
YouTube, please
And
be
it
nice
is
to us.
by uh we Google translated this last name. So it's Patrick Suskin. Suskin. I am
Suskin.
so sorry I butchered it, but it's okay. It's okay. And it was written in 1985, or that's when it was first published. And it was published in the United States after it was translated in 1987 by Penguin. And it's won some awards. I just want to
Ooh.
give you all the little fun tidbits before we get into the story. Give everyone a chance to really make sure that they want to listen to it. It's won the literary awards for World Fantasy Award for Best Novel in 1987 and the PEN Translation Prize for John E. Woods, he's the translator, in 1987. And from what I'm seeing, this book was originally written in German, which makes sense with the author's name, but it takes place in France, historical France, like 1750s ish France. And like I said, takes place in Paris for the most part and some other places in France. So let's meet our main character, Jean-Baptiste. And I do not want to butcher his last name. We looked up a Google Translate for it, but I will embarrass myself because they don't really call him Jean-Baptiste. In the story, they call him by his last name mostly. But let's get it started. Jean-Baptiste did not have the greatest first start in life. His mother was like a fish lady. She wasn't an actual fish lady. She like worked at like a fish stall. And it also, this is the most flowery written book. It has some of the most beautiful language I've ever heard. But it describes smells in a way that I could practically smell 1750s Paris, and it was not a good one. It described every single nasty little smell of 1750 something Paris, and it was gross. It was bad.
It
And it will
sounds
do
like
that
it. Oh,
through the entire book. And there's a reason
lovely.
why. So, Jean Baptiste's mother uh, didn't want kids right now. And she has had 5 kids before, but they've all either uh, passed away or were stillborn. And she was like, well, I don't want this one either. So she was at work and she decides to hunker down and just give birth, basically in a trash can. And she was thinking,
She did what?
she gave birth to our main character basically in a trash can. She was just gonna leave him there to not survive. If he survived. She wasn't paying that much attention to see if he survived or not. She says she had plans. She wanted to have a life. Well, girl ends up getting caught, and she ended up being removed from this earth forcibly because it's 70-50 something France.
Why? Like, what did she do to deserve to be?
She was trying to remove the infant from this earth.
Oh, so they're like, you tried to kill your baby, so I'm gonna you.
Yeah, and she also gave birth and she was not married. Scandalous.
Was she like
And
a not a lady of the night?
nope, she was just a fish lady selling fish, cutting heads off fish, doing stuff with fish. So
Okay.
thus began Jean-Baptiste's journey into foster, basically the foster system of the 1700s, which means he went to a wet nurse and the government paid for him. And the wet nurse, the next scene is the wet nurse going to a church, and there's a priest. And she goes up to the priest and she's like, take him. Take him. I don't want him. I don't want him. He's eating me. He's eating me. And he's eating more than the other kids. This is my livelihood. And the priest is like, oh, so this is about money. She went, no, this kid ain't right. Take him. I don't want your money. Take him. He's not right. And he's like, oh, what's wrong with him? She goes, he has no smell. And he's eating me.
He has
Not
no
like eat.
smell?
He has no smell. And it puts her off because he has no smell. And he's like, well, what are babies supposed to smell like? She's like, well, I mean, babies have all kinds of smells. And she says, babies smell different all over, but the tops of their heads smell like caramel. And the priest is like, you know what caramel is? And she's like, I was in an area where it was made. I haven't tasted it, but I know what it smells like. And he was like, oh, okay. Um, so this is not about money. She's like, this kid ain't right. He's messing with my livelihood. Take him. And you know what? You can feed him anything. He'll survive off of it, even beet juice. You can just take him. And the priest is like, this girl's crazy. And so he takes the baby, and he's going to find him another wet nurse. And he's playing with the baby, and the baby looks at him, and he's got like these crystal blue-ish eyes, like what you would see, like clear almost, like translucent. And I do want to clarify. Obviously, when the baby makes waste, that smells the waste smells because that's just how that works. But like his skin or like his natural scent, there is no smell. And he freaks out the priest because the priest is watching him and he's imagining, what if I didn't become a priest and I had a family of my own? He's having like a moment and he's talking and making like little baby noises at Jean-Baptiste. And then this baby starts sniffing. I mean, nostrils flared. You can hear him just sniffing, sniffing. And it freaks out the priest. And the lady tells him, like, straight up, hey, yo, I think the kid's a demon. And he's like, and that's when they're talking about the smell. She's like, he has no smell. And he's like, obviously, demons stink. So if he was stinky, he would have been a demon. But you say he doesn't have a smell, so he's not a demon. And then he catches himself thinking when the kid starts sniffing with his weird eyes and, like, all that. He's like, this kid must be you know what? He just ain't right. He's not that because demons stink. So,
well,
he ends up giving Jean-Baptiste to this lady who runs kind of like a home for kids. She had an accident, I think, and it made her not feel emotions, and she was only doing this gig so she could have enough money to retire and not have to be taken care of by the state in one of the really bad, like, nursing home type deals. And she didn't care, but she was fair. But she did not care. Not a care.
Maybe that's what that
And
baby needed.
yeah, honestly, out of all his options, that was probably the best one. Now, every kid got the same stuff. So if you got sick, she did what she could, but you got sick. He's got sick a lot, and he ended up having scars and all this other stuff, and he survived the Black Plague. But another fun fact about Jean-Baptiste, you see, is he had a sniffer that has never sniffed like anyone else's sniffer has before. And he could smell individual things, like trees. And it wasn't just trees, it was the smell of an oak tree, the smell of a maple tree, the smell of a pine tree. It wasn't just the smell of trees. He could smell rocks. He could smell different types of dirt. He could smell what you ate. He could point someone out by their smell for miles.
So he's like a sniffer dog.
He is like a sniffer dog. And smells become his life. And eventually, Jean-Baptiste becomes an adult and he leaves. And after he leaves shortly, the lady who took care of him, unfortunately, was removed from this earth.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a trend that you see when Jean-Baptiste leaves places. So he makes his way into Paris, and he starts off as a tanner, making like leather and stuff, and that's a gross job.
Yeah.
That's a real gross job. And they describe it, and the smells. And I do want to say, for Jean-Baptiste, all smells are smells. There's no good or bad smell at this point in time. And eventually, Jean-Baptiste is so obsessed with smells, he tracks down Baldini, an Italian man in Paris who makes perfume and different scented items. And Baldini's having an issue. He has a competitor who made this perfume that everyone wants. They want it. And he's been commissioned to make a saddle or something, leather, that smells like it. And he tries his best and he can't do it. Jean-Baptiste walks in and he goes, "Hey, yo, I want to be part of this. I can make this same perfume. Give me a chance." And the guy's like, "Have you done this before?" He said, "Nah, but I can do it." And he eventually talks Baldini into letting him mix the perfume. And he does it in this way that horrifies Baldini. Horrifies him. But at the end, he made it. Exactly it. And then he looks at Baldini and goes, "Yeah, this is kind of subpar. I can make it better." And he does. And then Baldini ends up taking him as an apprentice and has him for about 3 years and altogether. Now, during this time, he starts teaching Jean-Baptiste how to make perfume and scents and all that.
Wait,
And
can I pause? What did he
yeah,
do that horrified Baldini?
it's the way he mixed it together. He didn't know the names of everything, and when he would learn, he'd like repeat it to himself like aggressively because he wanted to memorize it, and he wants to know all the smells, and he's going to memorize them. And he didn't use the proper techniques, like he didn't stir it. He swirled the perfume, and he was just grabbing things, and there was no formula. That's the big word that Baldini used, is formula.
Gotcha.
He wasn't measuring.
Okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to know because you were like he was horrified. I'm like, oh, what?
I mean, this dude was horrified about it. Like, he was just like clutching his pearls. But like I said, this was written in like more flowery language, so everything's a little melodramatic.
That's fine. We love
And
a
it
little
gets more
melodrama.
melodramatic. So he teaches Jean-Baptiste the ways. And Jean-Baptiste is fascinated and eventually learns how to use the formula. And Baldini starts writing down his ideas. He has 2 notebooks, one in a safe and one that he sleeps with at night. And he starts making money. And Jean-Baptiste is like, "I'm just out here for the smells, guy." And he teaches him one way to kind of distill to make perfume, like to get the essential oils out of stuff. And Jean-Baptiste starts trying to make perfume out of everything. And this is where he has his first, what I'm going to call a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get the smell from rocks, seawater, and dirt. And it's not working with this way of distilling, which is basically just kind of boiling it. Kinda. They describe the process in depth, and I just did not care to remember the whole process because I don't want to make perfume. And Jean-Baptiste is distraught. He's distraught, Allie. I mean, like, this dude gets so distraught, he had to get smallpox about it.
Hold on. What?
He got so distraught that he had to get smallpox about it. I mean, dude ends up on his deathbed. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Caitie, you don't just get smallpox because you're distressed. You have to, like, contract that from somebody. Nope. He did it to himself. And here's how we know. So he's laying there, and Baldini is in there with his notebook going, please, is there any last thing you want to say? And Baldini's in his brain's like, couldn't you have died in like 2 years, 1 year, even? Why did it have to be now? Why are you having to die now?
I need you right now.
And he thought he would have like some deathbed perfume recipe or something, or just any last words, you know? And he looks like a corpse, apparently, and Baldini's just, you know, head down in his hands, just thinking, what am I going to do? I mean, I still have all this perfumes in the notebook, but he's like a wizard. He called him a wizard of smells and perfumes. He's like, you know, and he thinks this is God's will, is to have Baldini be better than his competitor. And so he's there, and he thinks basically that Jean-Baptiste is dead. And he suddenly hears, tell me, are there more ways? And he's like, this corpse speaking?
What is
and
happening?
He goes, what is happening? Dude, I thought you was gone. And he goes, is there more ways? Please tell me, I beg of you. And he's like, more ways for what? And he's like, getting the smells or whatever. And he's like, yeah, there's 3. This dude heals in just a couple of days. And I don't like necessarily the way they describe how it happened. It said, because he apparently had like cysts and pustules and all that, and it was very fluid. And like I said, this book is really written. And so they're saying that he absorbed his fluids back into his body. And he was healed and back to normal in 3 days. Not necessarily 3, but just like within a week.
I'm good.
He was healed. So he was so distraught he had to get smallpox about it.
Okay, look, I love this author. I do. He makes good work, but you don't just absorb the pustules.
Allie, this is to show how inhuman this guy is.
He is the devil. Oh my god, he can absorb his fluids.
But yeah, he could just... it gets even worse. This dude is so melodramatic. I'm gonna keep going, though. So he ends up figuring out these other ways to get smells, like coating something in oil and other processes, blah, blah, don't care. Moving on, I'm gonna skip a lot of parts of this book because I'm just hitting the high notes. But I think this beginning part really sets the tone for what's going to end up happening, so I'm focusing a little more on this. So he heals, and Baldini and him are working, and Baldini won't let him go for like the next 3 years because he's getting these ideas and making tons of money off of them. And then when he finally lets him go, he goes, I have 3 conditions for letting you go. The first condition, you cannot use any of the recipes that we have made or that are in this notebook for profit. You cannot use them. You cannot make them. 2, you cannot return to Paris while I am alive. You have to swear that on your mother.
His mother's gone.
Hold on. It's kind of funny. And, what was the third one? Dang, that might have been the third one. It must not have been important because I didn't remember it. But there was 3 conditions. Okay. And the one about swearing on his mother, Jean-Baptiste is like, I don't even care. None of this is relevant to me. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I'll leave. I was leaving anyway. So he leaves, and the trend continues. A tragic incident happens to Baldini, and him and his wife perished in a fire, along with the recipes for the perfume. And apparently, since he had all these like perfume and like ingredients to make perfume, when it caught on fire, it smelled like all these different smells for weeks.
It's like a candle.
Yeah, and his son was just upset. He was like, I didn't even get the notebook because it's gone. So Jean-Baptiste continues, and he's a young man. And I know this because of another part in the book that I'm going to talk about. He's a young man, and he smells a smell, and it's the best smell he's ever smelled in his life. He can't even comprehend this smell. He must follow it. It is insatiable, this smell. He craves it. He follows it. It's a girl.
Oh.
It's a girl. A young girl.
How young are we talking?
And young.
Oh, no.
Young. And she smells so good. So good. And he wants to just consume this smell. He doesn't want to actually consume her. Let me clarify. He just needs this smell. He can't stop himself, this smell. It smells so good. So he just has to unalive her about it. Yeah. Yeah, he just liked her smell so much that he just had to, get rid of her about it. And then he does. And then he just starts sniffing for a long time. Sniffing. I mean, armpits, knees, toes, bottoms of feet, hair, sniffing. I don't know if you could hear James in the background, but it was cute. He was going head, shoulders, knees and toes,
knees and toes.
But yeah, he just starts smelling until the smell goes away. And he's like, there is nothing that's ever going to be this good again. Oh my goodness. And I guess some other stuff happens, and he ends up going to a cave. Yep, he goes to a cave for 7 years.
Oh, he's going to be a hermit. Okay.
Oh yeah, this dude goes full hermit. He gets a club foot, a hunchback, and he doesn't bathe during this time. And he creates fantasies in his head and all of this other stuff, and he's just in this cave living in his imaginary fun land where they will bring him goblets of the smells, and he's just in his mind palace. He's in his mind palace, not a cave, a mind palace. And he is rank. And he eventually notices he doesn't have a smell. He doesn't have a smell. And it freaks him out. It freaks him out so bad that he washes and he starts airing himself out, standing like this on with his arms up above his head on a mountain for hours, trying to trying to adjust his nose, because at first he's assuming, he's like, oh well, I just smell myself all the time, so of course I don't think I have a smell. And he eventually comes to the conclusion, oh my god, I don't have a smell. Am I even a person? He has a full existential crisis because he has no smell. I mean, this dude just full existential crisis about it.
So it's kind of harkening back to the beginning of the book.
Yes, he has no smell. So he eventually comes down from the mountain and he's found. And he's found by this guy who's kind of part of a cult, but a scientist. These are the dudes who do seances and stuff back in the day. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Well, he's talking about fluidity science, and how things underground are poison. And this man has become part mole, basically, because he lived in a cave underground for 7 years. And he ate nothing but underground things. And that has made him into this hunchback, clubfoot scoundrel. Not a scoundrel, but, I had to keep with the words. And he takes him in and he presents him, and he's only feeding him raw vegetables to keep him in this icky state, because he's icky and he hasn't really spoken in a while, so he's having trouble trying to articulate words. He really just can't. And he introduces him to his science buddies, and he's like, with my new air filtration device, I will fix him and have him a normal gentleman in 8 days. In 8 days, gentlemen, with my new ventilator, I will fix this man. I will make him normal. And the scientists are like, yes. Yes.
Do it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm looking forward to this experiment. And they go up to Jean-Baptiste and try to talk to him, and Jean-Baptiste hasn't talked in 7 years, so he's just like croaking at him and trying to answer him and stuff. And this guy takes Jean-Baptiste, washes him, gives him normal clothes, and even calls him Monsieur. Jean-Baptiste has never been called Monsieur before. And he puts makeup on him, gives him, a good wig, gives him a shoe that levels out his walking with his club foot, helps him stand up straight, turns him into a normal guy. And Jean-Baptiste sees himself in the mirror. He's like, I look like your normal average Joe, just a little shorter. And he's like, I could be anybody on the street. I've never experienced this before. And the guy wears this perfume of, is it violets or lilacs? Doesn't matter. Flower. Purple flower. And Jean-Baptiste decides he wants to get his hands on some smelly smells because he wants to be a normal guy. And he fakes a swooning. Just falls out, full fallout, just pretending he's having like a seizure or something. And the guy's like, oh dear heavens, my ventilator is not working. Jean-Baptiste, tell me what's wrong. And he goes, your perfume. It's got a heavy trace of the roots, and the roots are underground, and it's just messing with my fragile sensibilities from being underground. It's giving me seizures. It's poison because, all underground things is poison. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, oh, that must be why I have gout. He names a bunch of other ones, but the gout one was the funniest to me. He's like, that's why I have gout. I will get rid of this immediately. And Jean-Baptiste is like, I'm a perfumer. Guy. I forgot his name. And I'm a perfumer guy. I can make you a perfume with eucalyptus and orange blossom. None of that horrid underground poison. So he takes Jean-Baptiste to another perfumer. Jean-Baptiste kicks everyone out, and he starts making perfume.
Back to the good old days.
Yeah, he makes 2. One perfume smells like what he promised, right? Okay. The other perfume smells like what he promised and normal person. And let me clarify, a normal person in 1750s France.
Like B.O.
He puts moldy cheese in it, and cat poop, and some other stuff. Sweat. Like all this stuff. And he suddenly smells like a normal person. Because he realized when he found out he didn't have a smell, why all these people were bumping into him all the time. And, treating him abnormally because he doesn't have a smell, and there's just something about the human brain, like instinct was just like, that's wrong. That's wrong. Like, think of the wet nurse, right?
Yeah.
So he makes a perfume that makes him smell like a normal person, and he's suddenly getting noticed and all this other stuff, and la 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 la. But he realized if he stops wearing it, or it wears off, he can go back to being basically invisible. He has superpowers now. And he eventually runs away from the guy, just runs away, and he goes to a town, and he starts making perfumes again.
Wait.
Starts
Does
making
the guy
perfumes. Die? Oh, yeah.
What happens to the guy?
I forgot.
But he's no longer with us.
He's no longer with us. I'm glad you caught on to this trend. When Jean-Baptiste leaves,
someone's gone.
Someone's gone. It may not be immediately, but they're gone. And he's going to make perfumes. And he suddenly smells that smell again. He smells that smell again, and he gets in his brain, his big brain. He says, I need to make it into a perfume so I can smell it all the time. So he starts uh, removing girls around the same age and the same circumstances as this other girl from the existence, practicing how to extract their smell to make it into perfume. Like a concentrate, basically. And it basically becomes a serial murderer. And, oh yeah. Oh yeah, let me tell you. So, this guy in the movie, not the movie. In the movie, it's Alan Rickman. There is a movie, by the way, of this. And, but in the book, this guy, he has money. And he's not like a noble or anything, but he's pretty high up in the system. And he's like, my daughter's next. My daughter's next. And he's right. His daughter is next. He's like, I saw the trend. My daughter is next. If I marry her off and sully her because all of these girls are untouched by man, if you get what I'm saying. If I get her out of here and married, and even better if she's having a kid, she'll be safe. So he plans her arranged marriage. They leave in the dead of night, and they even try to trick Jean-Baptiste. They don't know it's Jean-Baptiste yet. They even try to trick Jean-Baptiste into going the opposite way. And Jean-Baptiste goes up to this guy, and he's like, hey, where did homie leave to? And he said, oh, well, he went this way, but he actually went the opposite way. So Jean-Baptiste starts a running. He starts a running. He's got his knapsack full of his gear of extracting perfume from this lady, and he starts a running, but he's not running in the direction that the guy told him. He can smell them. He's following them by nose, like a dog, like a sniffer dog. And he eventually finds them. And the dad is just feeling so like, I defeated him. I defeated him. No more nightmares of my daughter being horribly, tragically removed from existence. And he's sleeping in his own room, and the girl has her own room. Jean-Baptiste sneaks in. Bop, bop, bop. With a club. She gone. And he starts wrapping her in, not paper, but like cloth, and it's got like an oil or a like lard type situation on it, and he wraps her like a mummy and leaves her hair out. Because what he's been doing to these girls is he's been taking their clothes and hair and wrapping them up like a mummy. He hasn't been assaulting them in that way.
Right.
I just want to put that out there. He has not.
He just wants the smell, doesn't want anything else.
He just wants the smell, nothing else. He's not fantasizing in that way about these girls, not women, girls. So it's not that motivated.
Yeah.
So he wraps her up, and it takes 6 hours for this process. So he's just chilling. He cuts her hair, takes her clothes, wraps her up, and is just chilling. And he is feeling so accomplished. He starts humming to himself. He's looking leisurely out the window. He's like, oh, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. And the process is over. He packs up. He heads out. And it takes like a year for him to get caught. And he eventually gets caught, and they sentence him to, to get got. And the people are mad. They are mad. The public. They demand to see him in the tower. They show him to him, and everyone's just writing. When they see him, they go quiet. They go quiet because they can't believe this guy who looks so pitiful could have done this. They were expecting like some, I don't know if they were expecting like some grotesque beast of a man, but no. They got scar-covered, hunchback, clubfoot, short Jean-Baptiste. Well, our guy, it's his day. And here's how they were going to do it. They were going to put him on a St. Andrew's cross. Do you know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to hit him.
You might want to tell the fans.
Oh, it's that, think of like a cross from the biblical times, but turn it on its side so it's more of an X instead of a T.
Thank you.
Yes. They're going to hang him up by that, and they're going to have this guy, I can't remember his name, but he's known for being strong, and he started practicing. He started practicing with unalived animals' carcasses with his hammer. They're not to kill him. They're going to hit him in his joints. And they're going to let what happens, but they're not to just straight up get him, because he is a horrendous murderer.
So he needs to be murderer.
Yeah. Well, he needs to go slow, painfully.
Yeah.
If at all possible, for days. And he gets down there, and everyone starts acting weird around the carriage that has him. They're acting real weird. And they, like, fall, and they're, like, struggling. And then there's, like, 10,000 people. Because, you know, this was entertainment back in the day.
Yeah.
This was their concert. And they start getting a little weird, too. Everyone's getting kind of odd. And they don't think he did it. In fact, how could he? They love him.
Huh?
They love him. They're in love with him even. And they're sorry. They got the wrong person. They're in love with this man. Every 10,000 people here are in love with him. And they're just so sorry. And some people are falling to their knees and they're crying and they love him so much. They love him so much, Allie. You just can't comprehend the feelings that these people are feeling. I thought I felt love for my husband, but I have nothing on these 10,000 people.
Is this his fever dream or something? What is going on?
Just wait. And not only do they love him suddenly, they're feeling some urges.
Oh.
They're feeling some urges, all 10,000 of these people. And they're not going after Jean-Baptiste because he is God. He is God. They're feeling some urges. And they start, let's just say, getting into some hedonism. That's a word you guys are going to have to look up on your own. And it's like a mass of 10,000 people just going for it.
Let me clarify. 10,000 people since Jean-Baptiste and went into full, what's the word?
Lust.
Over what?
Him.
Was it his smell?
Could be. Just wait. And then he's reveling in it, Jean-Baptiste is. Jean-Baptiste is just feeling it. He's like, yes, these people love me. I think this is what I always wanted, I think. And he doesn't feel satisfied. And he's looking around and he's seeing all this. What he had done is he used one singular drop of the perfume made from that girl. One singular drop of perfume did this to 10,000 people. And he sees the girl's dad walking up. And he's like, finally, someone who's going to be upset, something different in this situation. Because this isn't what he wanted. This is what he thought he wanted. He thought he wanted to be loved. And the girl's dad comes up to him. He's like, yes, I killed his daughter. He's surely going to be mad. There's no way he can look past this perfume. And the guy said, will you be my son? I'll protect you forever.
What?
You can be my son now. I understand now. You didn't do it. And you're meant to be in my life. You're meant to fill this hole that I have felt since my daughter's passing. And he gives Jean-Baptiste a room, kisses him on the forehead, and then eventually walks out into his own room.
Is this a ruse?
And Jean-Baptiste is mad. Because he doesn't want these people to love him. He wants them gone. He hates them. He hates them. And he has decided he is evil. And he is evil. He says that. He goes, I'm evil. He says it. And he's having like all these emotions. He's like, this isn't what I wanted. This is what I thought I wanted. What I really wanted is this. So he has this big disappointment. And he's like, I hold in my hands with this perfume the ability to basically enslave the entire earth. I could have everyone on this earth in the palm of my hand. Because one drop did that to 10,000 people. And he travels. He travels and he's thinking about it and he's thinking about it and he's like, I'm never going to be satisfied. So he gets to this other town. And this is the ending. This is the ending. He has the perfume. He has the ability to just control everyone, to have them love him and be filled with urges. Also, they talk about after he has left, everyone wakes up the next day after the party, and they're all just like, you know what? Let me gather my family. Let me just gather my... And we're not going to look each other in the eyes, and we're not going to talk about it ever. We're not going to think about it. That didn't happen. We're all just going to go home and not speak to each other for a long, 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 long time.
Wait,
Just real awkward.
I just thought about it. There were probably families in that
Yeah.
crowd, weren't there? Oh no.
Yes, there was.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's what you're thinking.
Okay. Well. Okay. Okay, let's get to the end of this.
And while they're doing that, Jean-Baptiste is having yet again another existential crisis. And he has this existential crisis for a while, and he travels to this other town. He holds in the palm of his hand this perfume. I'm building it back up again. He's holding it in the palm of his hand, and he takes it. He uncaps it. Everyone, whew, attention. And he pours all of it on himself. All of it. Now, what do you think happens when you pour liquid love all over yourself? I'm going to...
with you?
They love you so much. You know what cute aggression is?
Yes.
It's cute aggression. Kinda, but more intense. They love him so much, and they're so obsessed, and they can't comprehend, and they just can't, and they just can't, and they just can't. So they consume him. There's nothing left. Scraps of his clothes, gone. Him, gone. There's nothing left of Jean-Baptiste.
When you said cute aggression, you're like, you're so cute, I could just eat you up.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Like when you take the baby feet and you got them and you're putting them in your face and you're going, num, 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 num. Yes. It's exactly like that. And it's just so intense. They just gotta consume him about it.
Well, now I really want to watch the movie. Have you watched the movie?
I have not. We should watch it. I absolutely want to watch it. And it's got Alan Rickman in it. So why would I not want to watch it?
No,
I can tell from the pictures you just pulled up, they really aged up that girl. Thank God. So they consume him about it. And the same kind of thing happens again at the end where everyone just kind of comes to their senses and they're like, nope, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Oh, and about the trial thing, he was using another perfumer's like storefront kinda, so they end up pinning it on this innocent man. So, yeah. Yeah.
We gotta watch this.
That is Perfume. Well, the gist of Perfume.
Oh, it's got a good cast. Alan
Rickman. Is that Dustin Hoffman in it?
Yeah, Giuseppe.
He's Giuseppe Baldini.
John Hurt, who he's in the Harry Potter movies too. He plays the guy who makes the wands.
Oh, Ollivander.
Yeah, that's him right there.
Ooh. Yeah, can we watch this after this?
Yeah, because I'm excited. I want to see how true it is to the book, and you can
I'm sure they didn't include some of those parts.
Kind of hope they did. How long is the movie? Does it say?
I don't know if they can shove a 9-hour book into into 90 minutes.
2 hours.
2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Ooh, I don't know if we can watch that tonight, babe.
No, I dare you. I double dog dare you. I wish I had popcorn.
I have obligations after this.
I know. I know. Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm? Hmm?
Okay, guys. Well, that was Perfume,
That was Perfume.
the story of a murderer.
And if you're into that kind of stuff, I really highly recommend the book. You can smell the smells just by verbal description. Didn't know you could do that. So,
So all those
enjoy.
sweaty, nasty smells, you're like, ugh, ugh.
Oh, I've heard so many people described as smelling like cheese in that book.
If there's just
Like
enough.
the guy who wrote that, I don't know if he did his research or if he just really got into the idea. It's beautifully written, but oh my gosh, it is a roller coaster and everyone's just so dramatic. I love it.
The the author has a different type of brain. I would never think up a story like this ever.
I could, but I'm not the best at writing like dialogue and I'm not great with climaxes, but I think cuz all this that last part that went crazy was like the last few chapters of the book. Like you hear the highs and lows of Jean-Baptiste.
Yeah.
And then oh my goodness, it went crazy. We're going crazy. We're going crazy and it ends.
All right,
But yeah,
guys.
I highly recommend it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this.
Yes.
What would you call it?
Storytelling?
Maybe it's not a book club.
Story time? No, not yet.
We really are interested in doing that. So if you're interested in that, let us know because I feel like this would be great to, just have a little book club.
Might just do it anyways. Yeah, that's right. Our worlds don't revolve around you.
Yes, antagonize the fans. Do that.
Yeah, rage bait. Ah!
Rar. Okay, guys.
Rar.
Well, we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.